If you're a teacher and you've never once checked your super funds fees, this one's for you. A 35-year-old teacher in a typical high-fee retail fund is quietly handing over around $47,000 more in fees than she needs to. And almost nobody told her. More than 1 million Australians sit in funds that APRA has flagged as underperforming, and the combined cost runs into the billions. The fix is 3 free moves you can do this week. Compare your fund, check for an underperformance flag, and model your saving. Here's the number that matters, 0.88%. That's the typical annual fee gap between a high-fee retail fund at around 1.5% and a competitive profit-to-member fund near 0.7%, according to APRA fee data and ASIC's Money Smart guidance. But here's the part nobody tells you. That small gap compounds into tens of thousands of dollars over a working life. 3 moves, all free. All this week. Compare your fund on the ATO Your Super tool. Check whether it's been flagged as underperforming, then model the saving on Money Smart. Each takes under 20 minutes. So where does the money actually leak? Many teachers start in or stay in retail super funds marketed through banks or advisors, which charge higher investment and administration fees than profit-to-member industry funds, according to APRA. Teacher-focused funds like NGS Super and Aware Super run on a profit-to-member basis. They return profits to members instead of shareholders, which is linked to lower fees and no embedded commissions. Let's put numbers on it. APRA data and ASIC guidance show many profit-to-member members pay under 0.5% in core costs, while retail platforms can easily exceed 1.5% a year. On an $80,000 balance, 1.5% is $1,200 a year versus about $560 at 0.7%. A $640 gap before compounding even begins. APRA, ASIC Money Smart. Now the second drain, and it stacks on top of the first. Under the federal government's Your Future, Your Super regime, APRA identifies underperforming My Super products and members get letters urging them to switch, yet more than 1 million Australians stay put. Underperforming funds typically pay higher fees with lower long-term returns, so you lose on both sides at once. Here's what inaction costs. If your retail fund returns 6% gross before a 1.5% fee, that's 4.5% net. A strong profit-to-member option, returning 7.5% gross after a 0.7% fee, gives you 6.8% net. Aware Super APRA. That extra 2.3 percentage points a year, compounded over 25 years, can change your final balance by well over $100,000. Now the myth that keeps people frozen. That switching super is risky and you'll lose more than you save. ASIC and APRA acknowledge real risks like insurance and time out of the market, but they also stress that staying in a high-fee, underperforming fund can erode tens of thousands of dollars, which is why over 1 million Australians are being urged to compare and consider switching. Put both problems together and the picture is stark. Around $47,000 lost to extra fees alone, based on ASIC's Money Smart calculator assumptions, plus the foregone investment returns from staying in an underperforming fund. Combined, the modelling shows someone could be more than $150,000 better off by age 60. APRA, Aware Super, ASIC. Let's make this real. Meet Emily. She's 35, a primary school teacher earning $82,000 a year with $80,000 sitting in a retail super fund. Her employer pays the standard 11.5% contribution and she's 30 years from retirement. Here's what Emily found when she finally looked. Discovery 1. $1,200 a year. Emily logged in and found her total annual fees. Administration plus investment came to 1.5% of her balance, compared to profit-to-member funds charging under 0.5% in core costs. She was paying roughly double, about $640 a year more than she needed to. APRA, Super Members Council. Discovery 2 came from her letterbox. Emily's fund had been flagged as underperforming in APRA's annual Your Future, Your Super test, and members were formally advised to consider switching. That underperformance ran around 0.5 to 1.0 percentage points a year below benchmark, which on a growing balance costs many thousands over time. APRA. Discovery 3 was the one that stung. Using ASIC's Money Smart Super Calculator, Emily modelled staying put at 1.5% fees and 6% returns against switching to 0.7% fees and 7.5% returns. Over 25 years, the difference in cumulative fees alone was about $47,000, money she'd never have noticed leaving, month by month. ASIC Aware Super. When Emily added it all up, the gap to her age 60 balance was more than $150,000. That's based on her $80,000 balance plus ongoing contributions of $9,430 a year. 4.5% net versus 6.8% net over 25 years. ASIC Money Smart APRA Aware Super. So could this be you? Ask yourself three things. Have you ever checked your fund's total fee percentage? Do you know whether your fund passed APRA's latest performance test? And have you ever compared your fund on the ATO Your Super tool? If any of those is a no, the next three moves are for you. Here's the good news. Fixing this is genuinely simple, and every tool you need is free and government run. We'll compare your fund, check whether it's been officially flagged, and model exactly what you'd save so you're acting on numbers rather than guesswork. Let's walk through all three. Move 1. Compare your fund using the ATO Your Super tool. You reach it through MyGov, then ATO Online Services, then Super and the Your Super comparison. It ranks My Super products by fees and long-term performance side by side. So jot down your own fee percentage and whether your fund carries an underperformance flag. This is general information, not personal advice. So step by step, sign into MyGov and link the ATO service if you haven't. Go to Super, then Your Super comparison, and find your current fund. Note your fee percentage and shortlist 2 or 3 funds with lower fees and better long-term returns. Move 2. Confirm whether your fund has officially failed. Search for APRA's latest Your Future, Your Super performance test results, and check if your My Super product appears on the underperforming list. Then dig through your mail and email for any APRA mandated letter telling you the fund failed and that you should consider switching. 3 quick steps here. Search APRA's Your Future, Your Super results, and check your fund against the underperforming list. Read any letters your fund has sent you. And use ASIC Money Smart to understand insurance and switching risks before you move. Move 3. Estimate your saving with ASIC's Money Smart Super Calculator. Enter your age, income, balance, and your 11.5% contributions, then run 2 scenarios. Scenario A is your current fund's fees and returns. Scenario B is a lower fee fund, and the difference in total fees is your potential saving. Concretely, enter your details, an $82,000 income and $80,000 balance. Run Scenario A at 1.5% fees and 6% returns, then Scenario B at 0.7% fees and 7.5%. Compare the projected total fees and final balances over 25 years. Why act now? In 2021, the Your Future, Your Super reforms launched APRA's annual performance test, forcing underperforming funds to notify members. In 2023, the Super Members Council found a $1.1 billion spike in advice fees deducted from super accounts over 2 years. And through 2025, the ongoing Delivering Better Financial Outcomes reforms are pushing for stronger fee transparency, making now a key moment to review. Once you've switched, verify it actually worked. You should see your new fund's lower fee percentage on your next statement. Confirm your insurance cover either transferred or was replaced so you're not left exposed. And if your old account hits 0, make sure it's properly closed. Everything we've covered today comes from the Super Members Council, Aware Super, NGS Super, and ASIC's Money Smart guidance with APRA fee and performance data underneath it. All the links are in the description below so you can check the numbers yourself. So today you saw exactly how a teacher like Emily can save $47,000 just by comparing, checking, and modelling her super fund. Next, we're breaking down how to keep your insurance cover when you switch funds without a nasty surprise. Subscribe so you don't miss it. If this saved you even one fee you didn't know you were paying, do one thing for us. hit subscribe. It's free. It helps the channel reach more people stuck in high-fee funds, and it keeps you reading the fine print right alongside us.